Okay, so if my is my voice can hear clearly?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first parallel session. I'm Natasha Ariela Sasabila, and I will be the moderator and timekeeper for the session. So the presentation is about to begin, and there will be 5 presenters today in this room. Each presenter will be allocated 10 minutes to present the papers. I will remind you when it's already 8 minutes or 2 minutes left. After all presenters present their papers, I will lead you to the question and answer session. Okay, so without any further ado, I call upon the first presenter to present the paper, Mr. Dodi Wahyudi Purnama. Are you here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so the time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me share. That is my audible enough clearly, moderators?
Yes, clear,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Good morning,
wabarakatuh.
everyone. First thing first, let me introduce myself. My name is Dodi Wahyudi. I come from Universitas Negeri Semarang. In this occasion, I would like to try to deliver the result of my research entitled Analyzing Cohesion in Student Recontext, a discourse-based investigation. Will be delivered in the 14th UNES International Conference on English Language Teaching Literature and Translation, ELTLT 2025. The first one, introduction. As we know that writing proficiency is a fundamental component of our educational system, as emphasized by the 10th grade of English learner syllabus of Kemendikbud 2020. Proficiency in writing is also essential for effectively expressing aspiration and qualification to enhance academic and career opportunities. And beside that, recontact also will be discussed here are particularly valuable in developing fundamental writing skill as they require students to organize information chronologically, use appropriate verb tense, and create a coherent narrative. And then cohesion refer to the way a tag link together, but it doesn't necessarily indicate the importance to each individual elements within the text. To achieve unity in their writing, the students need to understand and apply cohesive devices. Background of the research. Based on the definition of cohesion, cohesion refers to the way of the text linked together. Coherence means that the ideas are logically organized and make sense together as whole, while cohesion is about the surface links. Can be delivered in words, connectors, and pronouns. Coherence is about the overall clarity and logical flow in the text. Cohesive device as a glue in writing, holding the sentence and ideas together so readers can understand the message clearly and easily. Recontact, which involve narrative past event. are particularly valuable developing fundamental writing skill. The context narrate past event, often or originating from real life action on activity. Based on Husna and Tazim 2019, recon take are categorized in 4 main types. The first is personal recount, and then the second one is a factual recount, and then the third one is imaginative recount, and then the fourth one is historical recount. Background of the research about cohesive devices are the word or phrases that connected ideas and sentences together, making a text easier to follow. Can be linked ideas, ensuring clarity, creative flow, emphasizing key point. So cohesive devices prevent confusion by showing how one sentence or paragraph relate one and to another's. According to Masito and Padilla 2017, it's occur when two words or texts have similar meanings. Repetition and collocation are lexical cohesion. In my research, delivers some or two research questions. The first research question is what the type of cohesive devices do the student use? And then the second research question is what are the most frequently used cohesive devices? And then the methodology used in this research designed by qualitative descriptive approach. And then the participant has been due in 10 grade students from SMAN 1 Pusaka Negara Subang. And then data collection using document students of recount tech. Data analysis. In data analysis will be divided into 3 steps. The first one is collecting data, technique of analyzing data, and giving the instrument of the study. The data was 6 hard writing recount texts from 10 grade students at SMAN 1 Pusaka Negara Subang. The researchers obtained written students text from English language teacher at the State Senior High School students in Pusaka Negara Subang in the 10th grade. Searching from the data in this study rely on the documentation. Using documentation to analyze textual content can aid in finding solution and to issues. And then technique of data analysis based on Holiday and Hassan 1976 theory was used to examine the data. The following stage are analyze the data. The first is clause, division, and numbering recount. Sentence were divided into clause and number to locate the cohesion component. The second is identifying clause cohesion. The writer underlying grammatical cohesiveness after considering clause. The third is organizing cohesive grammatical devices by type. And then this stage display data in the tables. Cohesive devices were identified. And the last, the technique of analysis data using counting cohesion in percentage took place. In this section explain cohesive devices students utilize the most.
2 minutes left.
2 minutes left. Okay, right. Thank you. This is the formulation, and then that is the instrument of the study. Okay, next to the finding and grammatical cohesion. In this section, the 6 students write about the text, about what they found out. From writer analysis or the recount text is clear that they use many grammatical cohesion techniques. Here, result of the tables can be shown by grammatical cohesion, like conjunction, ellipsis, substitution, and reference. Can be followed by finding out of the result from the text 1, the presentation, and then text 2, next text 3 until text 6. Based on the table, it was found that the grammatical cohesion technique consists of conjunction with 20, 13, 16, 17, 19, and 20 sequentially in text 1. And then in the next, in the text 2, text 3, and text 4 until text 6, the ellipses founded are 8, 8, 9, 10, and substitution are 0 sequentially in the text 1. And then it's concluded that conjunction is most frequently cohesion techniques found in the text. Here some figure grammatical cohesion found. From the text 1 can be found that conjunction used in making a writing text, it's about 24%, ellipsis 40%, 14%, and substitution 0%, and returns 22%. For the text 2, like that, and then for text 3, text 4, text 5, and text 6 can be shown in the follow slide.
Sorry for interrupting. And the time is up.
Okay, thank you very much. That is the conclusion, maybe for a while. The study at 10th grade student recon writing at SMA Pusaka Negara, while Rival used reference, conjunction, ellipsis, and grammatical cohesion device while substitution was absent. Thank you very much. That is the reference. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Mr. Dodi Wahyudi, for your presentation. Now I call upon the next presenter, Mr. Franciscus Joseph Isaac da Costa. Are you here?
Yes.
Okay, and the time is yours.
Okay. Is it visible? Okay. Good morning, moderators and fellow participants. My name is Franciscus Joseph Isaac da Costa, and today I would like to present my study entitled Neutrality or Nuance, Mapping Judgment and Engagement in Journalistic Discourse on Teenage Pregnancy. So, journalisms provide information about the world around us, like politics, society, technology, economy, and many more. However, language used by journalists can affect public opinion and perception by selecting what to cover, how to frame it, and the tone that they use. To maintain public trust, journalists have to have an idea of objectivity or neutrality. So, objectivity in journalism, though is debated, it is a core ethical principle aimed at ensuring that information presented to the public is factual, unbiased, and accurate. Journalists are often expected to maintain a neutral stance, reporting what both sides believe without taking a position. Editorial writing is different from traditional news because it is not neutral. It is not expected to be neutral. While neutrality is still considered a standard in journalism, editorials are meant to take a clear stance on a social or a political issue. And Van Dijk even calls them opinion discourse, since they openly show the public perception about the issue. Then Voss and Ednitz explain that this perspective adds new viewpoints and enriches public debate. And editorials are naturally interpretative and judgmental, as they aim to both inform and persuade readers. And in this study, we analyze an editorial from The Guardian by Polly Toynbee about the rising rates of teenage pregnancy in the UK. In this study, we use appraisal to explain how writers, judges, evaluates, and show their stance towards the people or the issues that they are talking about. So the purpose of study is first to analyze the journalist's judgment and engagement in the journalistic discourse. The second one is to classify the types of judgments: normality, capacity, tenacity, and veracity, propriety, and the engagement, monoclose and heteroclose. And then the third one is to understand how journalists use evaluative language to both provide information and influence readers on a social issue. So in this study, we use the descriptive practice method, and the data were obtained from an editorial piece written by Polytine B entitled "Teenage Pregnancy Rates Are Barometer of Britain's Progress. The tale they now tell is not reassuring," published on the Guardian's website on July 16, 2025. The purposive sampling technique was used to select the data, and in analyzing and categorizing each clause, it is accordingly to the Martin White 2005 appraisal framework, focusing specifically on engagement and judgment. So let's move to the findings and discussions. So engagement. Engagement looks at how writers use their own voice to bring in other voices when expressing opinions. In the editorial, there were 99 instances of engagement. Most of these were monoclose, with 62 cases, meaning Polytine B mainly used her own strong authoritative voice and presented her view as a fact without mentioning other perspective. This shows a clear subjective stance in her writing. However, she also used heteroclose, bringing in outside voices and sources, not to balance her stance, but to strengthen and support her argument. Now, the use of monoclose. So, monoclose refers to the use of evaluative resource or a consistent evaluative stance throughout a text. In this first example, years of austerity have destroyed the web of service that tackled this complex problem. In the example, we see that the journalist present a cause and effect statement. It is stated as, and it's a settled historical fact without citing a source. And then the second one, what work was tackling all causes at once, from child poverty to school absence, alcohol use, poor sex education, a lack of access to contraception, mixed messages about sex, dismal future prospect, and the impact of spending a childhood in care. Now, in the example above, again shows that the journalist gave a statement that acts as a fact. She present a conclusion shown by what work was tackling all causes at once. By making this as a settled fact, it acts as an indisputable truth. Then the second one, the use of heteroclause. The heteroclause refers to the presence of multiple value evaluative resource or alternative voice within a text. This shows that although she relies on her own voice, monoglossic, she still gave other voices to support her statement. Now, the following are some examples of heteroclause clauses found in the news text. The first one, in 1992, Peter Lally, the Minister for Social Security, sang a theory about single mothers who got pregnant just to jump on the housing queue. Now, on the example above, it is show that the journalist explicitly projects another person's voice and statement by Peter Lally, rather than speaking directly on her own. Then the second one, when figures from the Office for National Statistics for 2022 seem to show the second annual rise in teenage pregnancies in England and Wales. Now, the example shows that the journalist, Polytine B, projects an external source from Office for National Statistics and uses modality seem to show to present the data as possible finding rather than an absolute fact. Now we move to the judgment findings. Now, judgment is used to evaluate someone. In the news text, the most dominant are propriety with 18 occurrences, and then capacity with 9 occurrences, or 32%. Now, propriety deals with how somebody is ethical, while capacity deals with somebody's reliability. Based on the findings, it shows that the journalist was criticizing mostly towards the Conservative Party on their competence and effectiveness in attempting to reduce the teenage pregnancies in UK. So the use of propriety. So propriety is a kind of judgment that evaluates people, morality, and ethics. And in this editorial news text, the most dominant one is the negative propriety, while none of the positive propriety was not found in the text. This occurred because the journalists criticized the Conservative Party on how badly they solved the rising teenage pregnancies. So the examples are: first, the outgoing Conservative government had imposed the Section 28 ban on schools discussing homosexuality and gave parents legal right to remove children from sex education. Now the examples shows that the journalist condemns the government's Conservative government action. And then the second example, all of these were attacked by the moralizer, and the journalist framed the moralizer action as unethical and misguided. And the next one is the use of capacity. So the capacity is a type of judgment that evaluates people's competence and effectiveness and ability to act successfully. Now, from the example that I show in the presentation, it shows that Vitamin B employs negative capacity to show her dissatisfaction of the Conservative Party. The occurrence of she also employed this frame to the Conservative Party to show them as incompetent and incapable in addressing teenage pregnancy of the rising. And there were one finding of the tenacity, which is who says she was like a hawk, not an ostrich. So Politoin B used the metaphor to portray her as vigilant, attentive, and determined to monitor the progress of the programs. So this is a positive tenacity. So neutrality or nuance. The findings indicates that Politoin B editorial news piece was not neutral. Instead, it functioned as a social commentary on the discussed phenomenon. The dominant use of monoclose reveals that the journalist systematically presents her subjective opinion as objective facts. Statements are made without qualification of or attribute, violating the principle of neutrality.
Sorry, sir, time is up.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much for Mr. Francisco Joseph for the presentation. Now I call upon the next presenter, Mrs. Yusnita Sylvianingrum. Are you here?
Okay, I'm here. Am I
Okay.
audible? Okay, good.
Yes, the time is yours.
Okay, wait a minute. Don't count the time yet before
Okay.
sharing my
Okay.
point. Wait. So, is it displayed on the screen, my PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, may I start now?
Yes, please.
All right. So good afternoon. Sorry, still morning. Good morning, everyone. It's me to present our paper in this 14 ELT seminar. So this is a paper written by my students and I. The title of the paper is Multimodal Discourse Analysis of L'Oreal Campaigns, a Systematic Functional Grammar Perspective. I'm writing this paper together with Muhammad Fatah Atamimi. Is Fatah here? I think he is not around. And then also Sony Ardian Fasya. Sony is here, I think. And then Rafli Andre Febrianto and Gabriel Jovanka Wenas. Okay, so the background of the study. The primary objective of an advertisement is, okay, there are several things that underlying this study. The first one is Goddard in 2002 said that the primary objective of an advertisement is to attract people to do activity expected by the designer of the advertisement. And then the second one is some advertisement sometimes precisely provide the detailed informations of the message, but other advertisements sometimes conceal the intended information for the purpose of complying with the regulation stated. So, for example, for the cigarette advertisement, normally the information in the advertisement is not clearly described in the advertisement. So, McCrory in 2009 said that as critical customers or any audience of the advertisement, we need to understand the advertisement cautiously due to its provocative nature. And another thing that should be highlighted is that advertisement is a multimodal text. It is a text which makes use of semiotic resources. It can be in the linguistic resource, paralinguistic resource, visual, and other resources like sound or animated movie to achieve the purpose. So these are the advertisement that we are analyzing in the, for this paper. This is from L'Oreal. I hope that I believe that everyone is familiar with L'Oreal as one of the famous cosmetic brands in the world. And these three advertisements intrigue us to investigate because the product sold or described in the advertisement are women products, the cosmetics, but the title of the advertisement written in bold type and in white, a very contrastive and intriguing title in the background, in the red background of the advertisement. The title of the advertisement is that this is an ad for men. So what is the meaning behind this advertisement? That is the most important thing that we would like to investigate in our study. So that's why the objective of the study is to investigate the meaning conveyed in L'Oreal professional campaigns entitled This is an Ad for Men, the lipstick, mascara, and nail polish advertisement published in German in March 2019. To be specific, this objective is narrowed down into investigating the representational functions of the various semiotic resources of the advertisement and explored how these semiotic resources communicate meanings in the campaign. As mentioned in the title, we analyze our paper in the systemic functional linguistic framework. To be precise, the multimodal discourse analysis based on systemic functional linguistics, because the object of the study is the multimodal text, the advertisement. Kress in 2010 said that in analyzing multimodal discourse, in having multimodal discourse analysis, so the question should be asked, are what meaning is being made in the text? How is the meaning being made in the text? In what social environment is the meaning being made, and whose interest and an agency is at work in the making of the meaning? A little bit about systemic functional based multimodal discourse analysis. Some of the participants in this room, I do believe, are familiar enough with systemic functional linguistics, including the earlier presenter using appraisal based on SFL. In SFL, I do believe that everyone still remember there are three metafunctions: the interpersonal metafunction, ideational metafunction, and textual metafunction. Our study here focus on the ideational metafunction of the text of the advertisement. According to Halliday and Mathisen, ideational metafunction is the meaning of language to represent the experience, what's happening, what's the going on, or it is about the message of the text. And because our text is the multimodal one, we use the framework proposed by Kress and Van Leeuwen in analyzing the representational functions of a multimodal one, because Kress and Van Leeuwen had developed a framework for analyzing multimodal text based on systemic functional linguistics. And this is the framework. In focusing on the representational function, I would like to remind once again that representational function in multimodal text is similar to the ideational metafunction in verbal text. So, in the representational function in multimodal text only cover two processes, two types of process: narrative process and conceptual process. We can see there that conceptual, narrative process is the process which is represented in the multimodal text, which include or describe the actor and the factor of the activity conducted by the actor. Whereas if the multimodal text doesn't have any actors, doesn't have any activity, so the process in the multimodal text is classified as conceptual one. And in the conceptual process, they are sub-classified into classificational, analytical, and symbolic process, whereas in the narrative process is subdivided into actional and relational process. So let's see, this is the findings of our analysis. Earlier, I have mentioned about the three advertisement from L'Oreal. This is the first advertisement. So when it is very clear that we can see in the advertisement, we don't have or we cannot find any actors, any participant. Instead, we see lipsticks, the products of L'Oreal. For lipsticks, so this is, okay, from this one, we classified the representational process as conceptual one, not the narrative one, because there are no actors, no participants, and no activity doing by the participant. When we talk about conceptual process, then we can also see in the text, in the advertisement here, that there are carrier and possessive attributes. The carrier, of course, is the lipstick, clearly that we can see there under the title. This is an ad for men. There are 4 lipsticks there. And the 4 lipstick here are, okay, the color of the lipstick is red, but the tube of the lipstick is in gold. So the possessive attributes or the things being carried in the carrier, we can see there that the container or the tube of the lipstick is red color, but the lipstick is red. And important thing is that we can see there are 4 lipsticks, and the 4 lipstick gradually rise from the left side to the other side, getting higher, rising. And then there is also a big slogan on the top of the advertisement. This is an ad for men written in capital letter, very big font compared to other verbal languages or linguistic parts of the advertisement, and in white, in white color, very contrast to the background of the advertisement. And then there, if you take a look very detailed, there are also words under the lipsticks showing about the quota of women, starting from 0%, 10%, 20%, and 30%. And then on the right hand lipstick, on the lipstick itself, there is also extra words or verbal or linguistic parts, which is written, profitability, as well as bigger plus 15% with the additions of revenue with female leaders. We can, okay, other possessive attribute can be seen in the text. Next, so the discussion of the finding number 1. The lipstick itself, of course, it represents women. It is the product of women, cosmetic of women. Mostly lipsticks are used by women. And yes, L'Oreal lipstick is addressed. And then for the possessive attribute analysis that we can find in the previous article, we can see that the red color can also be understood as representing the courage, the elegance, the luxury, the bravery. And the gold color can also be understood as showing prestige and value. So in this advertisement, L'Oreal tried to say that women are, have value. Women have value. They have their prestige. And then an important thing to notice is that the red lipstick represents growth or progress. And then the slogan reads, "This is an ad for men," in white and capitalized ads. Well, this is, this advertisement is definitely not only for women. The product is for women, but the article, the linguistic part, the information is for men. Especially in the first article, it talks about what is that? Hire more women in leadership roles. That's the message. Especially the statement plus 15% revenue with female leaders. It shows that when you have female or women leaders in your company, so the revenue is proven to be 15%, gaining more revenue. And then in the text number 2, advertisement number 2.
I'm
The
sorry,
carrier
ma'am.
there.
The
Okay.
time is up.
Again, how many minutes left? Oh, time is up.
Yeah, time
You
is up.
said that
Yes.
you want to what's that? Like remind me if
I remind you with
the time is
time
less.
2 minutes left, but yeah, I think you
Okay.
didn't say
Let me
it. Yeah, sorry.
I didn't see it because I didn't see the message. Okay. So I see my reference. Let me go with the conclusion. So the conclusion is that all the advertisement, of course, because it's an advertisement, it is selling product. The product is the thing that is the carrier of the text, the lipstick, the mascara, and the nail polish. But in addition to that one, with the title, this is an ad for men, as actually the advertisement also campaigns about the gender diversity and equality in the workplace, especially in leadership roles for women to have the same standing as men. Thank you so much. If anyone would like to see the complete PowerPoint, please do text me. I would be happy to share the PowerPoint with you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Mr. Sylvia Ningrum, for your presentation. Now I call upon the next presenter, Mr. Sunara. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so the time is yours.
Oke, bisa didengarkan ya? Halo?
Bisa, Pak.
Oke.
Silahkan.
Okay, this is my topic, analyzing speech acts and context, rhetorical strategies of Donald Trump and Joe Biden in 2024. It is in the presidential debate in America 2024. In this paper, analyze the rhetorical and linguistic strategies by Donald Trump and Joe Biden in the 2024 presidential debate, focusing on the speech acts. It examines how the language choice combined with cultural and situational contexts, shape public perception and influence voter attitudes. Presidential debates are vital to the democratic process in the United States, and they offer candidates a chance to showcase their policies, interact with their opponents, and engage with voters. Debates are vital for democracy, rather in the context of misinformation and critical engagement, may limit their effectiveness in educating voters. The main point of the argument, emotional appeals of speakers' credibility, impact persuasion. These factors shape how effectively arguments are communicated and received in conversation. Media coverage plays a significant role in shaping support for political system, and serious news can boost their support for the system. Negative advertising often discourages people from participating in election. This dynamic illustrates how political engagement is changing and how different types of media influence voter behavior. The methodology for analyzing involves a combination of quantitative and qualitative approaches. The psychotype in political discourses is explored by examining the use of assertives and directives, particularly through aggressive speech patterns, attacks on opponents, and rhetorical questions. The data is segmented into individual utterances. Each utterance will be coded for speech act and context and rhetorical strategy. Both candidates, from Joe Biden and Donald Trump, discusses the state of economy, job creation, inflation rates, and fiscal policies. Trump criticizes Biden's handling of the economy, the discussion about health insurance improvements, affordable prescription drugs, and policies like the Affordable Care Act. And Biden talks about making the tax system fair and ensuring no tax. Trump mentions environmental policies and climate initiatives, indicating opposition to Biden's climate programs. The discussion follows presence, fairness in policing, and response to domestic unrest, addresses his legal challenges and political accusation, emphasizing claims of election fraud and persecution. The respondent of the study not involved the respondent in the traditional sense. Instead, it analyzed debate transcripts and video recordings of 2024 presidential debates between Donald Trump and Joe Biden as primary data resources. The prime instruments used in the study are debate transcripts and video recordings of 2024 presidential debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. The research gap. The study pertained to the limited understanding of how interaction between speech acts, rhetorical strategies, and contextual influences dynamically shapes political discourse during late presidential debates. While existing literature examines speech acts and dexis and rhetorical separately. So the research gap is talking about the speech acts, dexis, and rhetoric separately. This is the result of my research. The Illocutionary Act consists of commissive 5%, declarative expression 3%, directive expression 12%, expressive 25%, assertive 55%. The analysis categorizes speech acts into 5 types based on estimated percentage. The assertive illocutionary acts, 55%. The candidate frequently states facts and assert their position, 55%. And then commissive illocutionary acts, 5%. Small portion involves takes on each other's credibility. And then expressive illocutionary acts, 25%. And then directive illocutionary acts, 12%. And the last expression is about declarative illocutionary acts, 3%. Declaration of status or recognition.
Iya, nggak apa-apa, diambil.
This is context mostly spoken from situational context, cultural context, and linguistic context. And mostly spoken of the context is linguistic context, 40%. Linguistic context, 40%. Linguistic context, 40% on language choices, tone, and rhetorical devices. From cultural context, 25% involves assumption, values, and shared beliefs affecting speech and audience interpretation. From situational context, 25% encompasses the immediate consequences of the debate, such as platform and political climate. Okay, now goes to the conclusion. The significance of the interplay between speech acts, rhetorical strategies, and context in shaping political discourses during the 2024 presidential debate. And then I can conclude that how these elements collectively influence public perception and effectiveness of political communication. This is my references of the study, and thank you. Because I have just a little bit time, maybe I can review for this. This is my title of analyzing speech acts and context, rhetorical strategies of Donald Trump versus Joe Biden in 2024 presidential debate in America, United States of America. I mean. And this is the background, rhetorical linguistic strategies. And the debates in America, I mean, in the United States of America, is a bit of a democracy. And the debate has an argument that emotional appeals that impact persuasion. The factors shape how effective arguments are communicated and received in conversation. And the media coverage and serious news and negative advertising are engaged with the rhetorical strategies and the debate of American presidential debate. And the methodology, I want to say again that I use the qualitative and quantitative. And psychotype and political discourse is examining the use of assertives, directives, aggressive, and rhetorical questions. And the data use, I want to say again, the speech act, context, and rhetorical strategy. And the debates from Donald Trump and Joe Biden discuss about economy, job creation, inflation rates, fiscal policies. Donald Trump mentioned environmental policies and climate initiative. And then,
Sorry, sir, 2 minutes left.
okay, Abi, it's enough for me to deliver my speech because it's time for me. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Mr. Sunara, for the presentation. And then, ladies and gentlemen, now it's the time for the question and answer. I give the time for the audience to ask questions for the presenters. It's also possible for a presenter to ask other presenters. Please keep the question short because we have only 10 minutes. Please. If you have any question, please, you can question directly or type it through the chat box. Thank you. Okay, maybe if there's not any question, I have a little curious about Mr. Sunara. Can I have a question for you, Mr.?
Yeah, of course. Please,
Okay.
Ibu Natasha, room 4, moderator.
Okay, I'm a little curious. How did you pursue on your research, and how did you your journey through the research, and then how the challenge, and yes, something stuff. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for asking me about the challenge. Yeah. In fact, there are a lot of things to discuss about the challenge of my research in the debates of Joe Biden and Donald Trump debates in the presidential in 2024. The challenge are the first one is I got the difficulties from the how to make the points of the debate from watching the videos, and then I'm trying to find out the application of supporting me to understand how to support to understand to summarize and something else to so I got to understanding of the videos, and then I find and find out the summary of the videos. I find out the key points of the summary, and then I'm trying to understand in other cultural, in other contexts, and of course, as you know that I'm talking about the speech act, I'm talking about the context, I'm talking about the speech acts and then context and rhetorical strategies. First, rhetorical strategies, I'm trying to find out from another sources, from watching the videos, or reading the articles about strategies of the debate. And then for speech act, of course, biblical study. I've got a lot of things from the speech act. It's correlated to the speech act I know from the previous research from talking about the speech acts. And then the challenge also is coming from the context of the debate. You know that the context is talking about the linguistic, and then talking about the culture, about the literature. But this point, the challenge are talking about the context of culture. You know that in America or in the United States of America, the people usually discussing about this is not something peculiar. It is common sense that discussion in America talking about the debate, and it's even Donald Trump has a lot of words, a lot of expression insulting Joe Biden in the debate. But the methodology used by Joe Biden and Donald Trump having different methodology of what is it? Insulting, attacking each other. You know that Joe Biden is more sophisticated and attacking Donald Trump. But Donald Trump is attacking Joe Biden is sometimes with very clear and attacking expression words, something like in assertive, and then and with in the speech act, in speech act, you know the speech act. In the speech act, the video are talking about the assertives, and then in the assertive, the statement that convey information. Donald Trump convey many information that the people believe as true, But sometimes Donald Trump convey information that's something unclear, something unclear. For example, you say that we make the America great again. Great again means something unclear, I think, for us to understand what does it mean by Donald Trump. In directive, for example, Donald Trump usually using the question that the people don't understand, but he asking lots of with the Joe Biden, with asking lots with Joe Biden with difficult question that cannot answer. And in commission, Donald Trump make commitment or promises made by Donald Trump. And for expressive, in the expressive, Donald Trump making the expression of feelings or emotion. Sometimes Donald Trump's speech is so greatly advocated and very emotionally, but sometimes sarcastic. You know that sometimes sarcastic. That's the feelings of emotion of Donald Trump. But in Joe Biden is more sophisticated in managing the emotion, managing the feelings. And in the speech of the declaration, statement of Donald Trump about the change in internal America and external America. Donald Trump talking about what will happen to the external future for America. What is the internal future for America? That is related to the Israel, to the any countries around the world that is supported by America. And then the importance of the speech act of Donald Trump and Joe Biden is a contextual understanding. Contextual understanding, the meaning of speech act can depend on the context. We understand about the speech act from the context of Donald Trump and Joe Biden. That was in 2024, not now. Not now, because Donald Trump now is president of America. But this was long time ago in 2024 context when they were debating each other with Joe Biden. As now, what I'm asking about myself is, what is the relevancy to the education? What is the relevance to the education or pedagogical relevance to this debate? The language teaching, we can understand speech acts that enhance language learners' ability, that support us to understand learners' ability to use language appropriately in various contexts. So we are talking about everything. We should understand the various contexts. That is the language teaching, yeah. And then in the communication studies, the relevancy to the communication studies is in this and in my research is
I'm sorry, sir. We have only 2 minutes left. Yeah.
okay.
Thank
Analyzing
you.
speech acts can improve understanding conversational dynamics and social interaction. Social interaction means the socially interacted in America, not in the world in general, but in the United States of America. And understanding conversation dynamic is meaning the conversational dynamics and approach in America contextually to the president, the Donald Trump and Joe Biden in 2024. I think that is all my short explanation about this. I'm sorry for everything, Natasha Harum, for thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for your experience. That's very incredible, sir. Okay, so for the other presenters, are you guys have another question? Okay, maybe if there is no question, so this is the end of the first parallel session. I very congratulate you all for having been successfully presenting the papers. After this, all presenters and participants please have a break until 12:30 p.m. Let me repeat, 12:30 p.m. Okay, and then after have a break, please join the third plenary session with Dr. Angela Cook, and then that will be start at 12:30 p.m. Thank you very much, and I also apologize as a moderator if there is a lot of mistakes. Once again, congratulate for you all guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mbak Sinta.
Indeed.